Well, my fellow Americans, Dan Aykroyd, I guess impersonating presidents is just becoming a lifetime thing for you.
Well, I've done a few. I've done old Dick Nixon there, the old burglar. And of course Jimmy Carter back in his time. And now I get to create a role, a fresh role. I didn't really model my character against any specific president. I think I just took a composite of all the public figures that I've seen throughout history and sort of rolled it into a big soup of kind of presidential aura and a kind of a generic presidential projection, really.
Who was, though, your favorite presidential persona, including this one?
Well, I always loved doing Nixon because, you know, he was such a caricature, you know, his physical language and his whole kind of shiftiness and the fact that you knew he was getting away with so much and trying to hide so much. I think he's one of the ones that we really enjoyed satirizing on Saturday Night Live.
What about political humor in that regard? What are we laughing at exactly when we see you doing things like this? Are we laughing at ourselves as being dupes of these people, or what, do you think?
Well, I think we're laughing at, you know, just the pedestals that they put themselves on. You know, they really are figures with clay feet when they present themselves as these, you know, great, you know, civically responsible and morally responsible individuals, when really they're just vulnerable human beings. I think that the movie addresses that pretty effectively in that, you know, once they leave office, you know, they're just normal men again and they have to go and deal with the American public. And, you know, but I tell you, no Hollywood fantasist or writer can really come up or devise any scenario that compares with the real people who have been in that office throughout the time of, you know, since the inception of this republic, because, man, we've had some extremely, you know, wild characters and triumphs and tragedies of absolutely Shakespearean dimension. So
it's almost like they're writing the scripts for you.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, we can take inspiration, but we'll never get close to, you know, a character like Lyndon Johnson, who picked the Beagles up by the ears, showed people his scars openly, and had his advisors sit there on the bathtub rim while he sat on the john and took a poop. I mean, you know.
Do you think that your own capacities for those fast-talking hucksters that you used to do, was that part of the equipment that made your presidential impersonation so effective? Does
yeah.
one presuppose the other?
Well, I think it certainly helped. You know, presidents do have to talk fast and kind of out one side of the mouth and out the other. And one of the facilities that they have is to, you know, be huddled with advisors and kind of be peeved off and kind of mad and gruff and, you know, kind of barking orders out, and then have to walk through a door and suddenly be ebullient and smiling and
when you're greeting the Netherlands,
greeting all the people that they'd rather not have to have anything to do with, you know. But you know, politicians and actors definitely share a commitment to theatrics because they are presenting a public face, and it is one of the mutual sort of common denominators that exist when you have a famous life. You know, you have a public persona and a public thing that you have to present. And then you have, you know, your private moments, whatever torment exists within those times.
What kind of feedback have you gotten, if any, from any of these presidents?
Well, I guess I haven't actually. Well, from a president, really, I guess nothing. But from Bob Dole, when I did him, he wrote me a letter saying, you know, I saw your impression on tape, and it wasn't tough enough.
Really?
Yeah. And then he said, you know, subsequently that I did the most accurate impression of him. And, but no feedback from any others so far.
Now let's turn it on its head. Has anybody impersonated you?
Well, yes. There was a movie called Wired out a few years ago, which depicted the life and ignominious demise of my partner John Belushi. And because I'm a public figure, they actually had someone playing me in there, and I never saw the movie and will not see it and do not endorse it or support it in any way because it was an accurate portrait of the man I loved. But I've been imitated a couple of times. Mostly my friends do it. My wife does a great impersonation of me. You'd have to see that. Yeah.
Well, let's keep that track as we close out. Is there another Blues Brothers incarnation?
Well, you know, my band plays at all our clubs. We go around the world now in North America, and hopefully go around the world to Asia and Europe with the band. The guitar players are playing like 19-year-olds. We just opened a club in Chicago. Jim Belushi joined me for that.
Right.
John Goodman and Jim Belushi are in the band, and we do go on stage with the Blues Brothers act. I have a radio show on CBS syndicated network called House of Blues Radio Hour, so the character of Elwood is alive and well.
There you go.
and it's just fun to be linked with the music, you know, continually.
Thanks for the satire and the music.
All right, sure.
Dan Aykroyd,
Thank you, sir.
President Haney.